We begin tonight in the Northwest Territories, where firefighting efforts continue on multiple fronts. Crews are fighting fires near Whatì, Fort Providence, and Jean Marie River. Whatì and Fort Providence remain under evacuation order. Today, the temporary Betchicon evacuation center closed after evacuees from Whatì were relocated to Yellowknife. Jean Marie River remains on evacuation alert. N.W.T. Fire says the fire is being held at 15 kilometers from the community, just as it has been for the last few weeks. In Whatì, N.W.T. Fire says the north wall of the fire closest to the community remains 7 kilometers south of the airstrip. That's where it was when the community was evacuated last week. The fire has grown larger in its south end, which means it's still dangerous. In Fort Providence, the fire remains close to the community. It got just 900 meters from the southeastern edge of town, though N.W.T. Fire says that edge of the wildfire has now been contained. The fire is over 100,000 hectares in size. Fort Providence residents are largely in Hay River, waiting for news and dealing with the stress of the situation.
I never expected, this to happen, especially for the elders, It'll be a kind of hard on them, to move away from where they've been for most of their life.
That's 76-year-old Philip Constance speaking about being evacuated from Fort Providence. He says he's doing okay, but he's still not home. Some elders from Fort Providence remain at the Hay River Evacuation Center, sleeping on cots. And that's a concern for one young person who says they should be prioritized for hotel rooms in accordance with Dene laws.
Seeing like there are still some elders that are held up in the rec center, seeing some of our people that have disabilities and some of our children that are staying here. Kind of makes me concerned because, just the space itself, we do have a lot of our members staying here. I kind of figured, like I was under the impression that they were going to be prioritized for hotel rooms, so it's kind of disappointing. It's who we are as Dene people. I'm pretty sure other cultures as well. We need to be taking care of our elders. We need to be taking care of our children and the people that have disabilities as well, because that's just who we are. These are the traditional governance that we usually focus on when we're in our home communities, because, we don't really abide by modern government rules, just how we basically take care of our people. We do have a lot of our local leadership that actually stayed behind to make sure that our community is being kept safe, and a lot of our members there. So I felt like the ones that organized this, this whole thing here, that they should have been the ones to actually really look at the big picture and put the elders, the children, and people that have disability issues first.
There are multiple governments and organizations involved in creating an evacuation center like the one in Hay River, including the Northwest Territories Department of Municipal and Community Affairs, or MECA. Hay River's mayor says some people in the evacuation center are now moving to more private spaces. Candace Jameson says they're doing their best, and she knows that sleeping on cots isn't a long-term solution.
Of course, at the beginning, you're in an emergency situation. It's just getting people a place to lay down. Now, absolutely. We're slowly finding other accommodations, with beds for them, right? We've got sick people too, right? People that are fighting cancer or whatever that really need to be more private, more comfortable. And yeah, so those wrinkles come as you go, right? I mean, day one and day two, it was just, okay, get people a place to be and then we'll work from there. So yeah, hotel rooms are all booked, but again, that's MACA. I was in an EMO meeting yesterday, and how do we move forward? What's this look like if this turns into long-term? Our people were out for quite a substantial amount of time, hoping that that's not going to happen with Fort Providence, that they can go home hopefully within the week. I'm really praying for that, but if not, they'll have to transition, right? I know that we moved babies into quieter rooms, so a lot of them got better sleep last night. And I'm hearing those kind of comments. But yeah, understanding that this is not long-term, this is definitely short-term.
You heard Candace Jamieson say she hopes the Fort Providence evacuees can return home soon, a hope no doubt shared by the evacuees themselves. At the moment, there's no indication when people can go home. In fact, as we told you on Tuesday, more firefighters are now in the community to help. A crew from Yukon First Nations Wildfire is now in Fort Providence. They'll help solidify the fire break and secure buildings across the community. The acting CEO of Yukon First Nations Wildfire says it's becoming more common to deploy staff, even at this time of the year.
We'll deploy as many as we can, honestly, in times like these when other provinces, territories, our neighbors are really screaming for help. We'll send over as many as we can. So we were able to scrounge up a full unit crew, which we're really proud of, and we're really happy with the relationship that we have with the government of Northwest Territories to be able to make sure we have that connection to deploy them as soon as we can.
Morrow says this is the crew's fourth deployment in the N.W.T this season. They'll be staying for at least the next 20 days, depending on the fire situation.